As we await that decision, let's bring in Florida Republican Congressman Michael Waltz. Congressman, good to see you. What do you think the judge is going to do in this case?
Well, I certainly hope the judge errs towards transparency. You have 70 million Americans that have a lot of questions about the timing of this raid, the necessity of this aggressive action. So many of us, myself included, are asking what changed between the back and forth process in June to then August to then have to take this action. Did they have some type of evidence that President Trump was going to hand these documents to some foreign entity? I highly, seriously doubt that. So what was that catalytic moment? And I think the judge should err towards restoring confidence in our federal law enforcement, restoring confidence in the Department of Justice, and really quelling, what I'm hearing, and that so many people are so outraged and so alarmed.
So say the judge a few moments from now, as we await this, I mean, we keep watching, anything could come from that courtroom, decides on a special master for the former president per their legal team's request. That happens. What do you believe the true impact would actually be?
It's unclear at this point. I think, again, there's the restoring confidence because so much has been lost in the leadership of the Bureau, and I make that distinction, not against the agents themselves, but the leadership of the Bureau and the leadership of the Department of Justice. But you see all these activities that are going on despite this judge's deliberation. Apparently, the Bureau in their filing indicated that they've already had a review team, that they've decided that things that should fall into attorney-client privilege don't. I think that's something that we should have an independent entity decide, not the Bureau, who obviously has a bias in this matter. We have the DNI conducting their review of the damage to national security of the classified documents, yet go back to 2016, the DNI declined to do a review of the 8 or 9 or so special access programs, higher than top secret SCI, that were on then Secretary of State Clinton's server as it pertained to our drone program. The DNI declined back then. Why back then did they decline, but now they're going to do a review of President Trump? So it's this uneven application, and doing so just 100 days before the midterm election that just, I think, stinks to high heaven for so many people.
I think we could hear Army sounding off in the background there, Congressman.
Yeah.
Not sure if it is or if it
Army's
isn't.
got a voice in all of this. Sorry about that.
He wants to bring him on TV. We'll get his thoughts as well. Hey, I thought that it was rather ironic that in making the case for the appointment of a special master, President Trump's attorneys brought up the case of his one-time confidant and attorney, Michael Cohen, who asked for and got a special master. The Trump attorneys in the filing saying, quote, the subject of a search warrant requested, this is Cohen he's talking about, requested the appointment of a special master in light of potential privilege concerns, and the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York granted the request. I mean, they're making the point here with Judge Cannon, hey, the Southern District of New York gave a special master to Michael Cohen. This former president, deserves one too.
Yeah, look, I think the bar should be lower, or however you want to look at it, but I think we should absolutely make additional exceptions and take extra precautions when it comes to a former president of the United States, especially in a matter that's never been done before, as we're seeing in a raid on his home, and especially when it comes to his declassification powers. To my knowledge, there is no prescribed process. Historically, it's done with memos from the White House counsel's office to notify the agencies the president's made this decision, but it's not statutory. It's not a crime. And so for them to go so far as to prove intent for someone who didn't pack the boxes and has that authority, I think is a real stretch, and it just reeks of politicization of our federal law enforcement.
All right, Michael Waltz, thank you so much for joining us.
All right, thanks.